Hello, everyone, and welcome. This week has been particularly cloudy and rainy. I haven't seen that much rain in a while, and I couldn't image the surface of the sun through the H alpha as much as I would have wanted to. But I have another interesting topic, uh, that of solar cycles and predicting these cycles. I've worked a little bit on that with some of my students, and researchers have done a lot of work around that as well. I just want to share a little bit with you today. So the current cycle is 25. This is the cycle that we are currently in, and it has started in um, December 2019, January 2020 with the minimum, and it will slowly increase and then decrease. At the rates, the duration of the cycle is about 11 years, but it's not a fixed duration. So let's see what the solar cycle is and what uh, are its measures, how we can measure it. So sunspots are visible on the sun almost on a daily basis, except for very particular periods of time, which are called periods of solar minimum. And the interval between these two minimums is a solar cycle, and it lasts about 11 years, plus minus. It's not always fixed. You can see here some sunspots I captured um, during the Mercury transit in 2016. You can see planet Mercury here as a small dot, and the sunspots here with umbra and penumbra as well, the lighter regions. These are magnetic fields. The sun cycle is linked to the magnetic field of the sun. When it's very strong, there are lots of sunspots, a lot of activity, and then uh, it, it's, um, this fluctuates at a rate of about every 11 years. Spaceweather.com gives us a nice picture of the sun, a daily image where we see the active regions with the sunspots and the sunspot number as well. And this sunspot number is really important in determining the strength of a solar cycle. You see here all the solar cycles, all the 25 solar cycles. 24 have been completed. Now we are in the 25th. And they started counting them in 1749. So this is month one. And you see here all the months that have been measured. And interestingly, in the last uh, 50 years or so, we have seen a decrease in the solar activity. You see the maximum, the amplitude of each cycle is lower each time. And we'll see what we believe, what we predict to be the amplitude of the 25th life sun cycle or solar cycle. So this is a closer view of solar cycle 24 and what we have so far of solar cycle 25. So we see we are already approaching the maximum here, and it's all about determining what that maximum will be and how long the cycle will take. Now, usually when we want to do that, we look in the past and we look at the previous cycles, and we try to use that data to model the next cycles. This is a very simplistic approach, an approach that I've used in the past. However, more advanced models are, and I'm not going to discuss these models here. Now, solar cycle 24, this one, uh, ran between December 2008 and December 2019, and it reached a maximum on April 2014. Actually, the maximum number of sunspots, 146.1. So this value here was reached in February. Several papers, such as this one published in 2011, tried to predict the intensity and duration of the 24th and 25th cycle. And for the 24th, they actually predicted its peak to be on November 2013, with a sunspot number of 113.3. Interestingly, the actual value recorded on November 2013 was a little bit higher than the predicted one, but the peak occurred several months later. But it was within that, give or take, 6 months period. So what about cycle 25th, the one that we are currently in? Now, the same paper predicted its peak to be in April 2023 with a sunspot number of 132.1. That's close. That's just a few months from now. Other models give June 2025, give or take 6 months or so as its peak, and they provide a sunspot number of 115, so a little bit lower than what that paper that I just showed you claims or predicts. Now, back in 2019, I had one of my undergrad students investigate this problem as his final year project, and he used a combination of 3 different models: a neural network, a regression tree, like a decision tree where you have branches deciding which branch to take based on some decisions, and RIMA, which is a time series. It looks in the past at the data and tries to find patterns that it can use to predict future values. So far, based on what we have, the regression tree is the best match for the current cycle. And you can see here in blue the ARIMA prediction, the smooth curve, and then the neural network, the red line, and the regression tree in green. All of them peak at around 60 months into the cycle. So that is somewhere in January, February 2024. And you see that the actual values are these ones in light blue. They follow the green line closely. So the regression tree seems to be a good choice in this case. Now, My student predicted that the peak will be 58 months after its start. So that puts it somewhere in around December 2023. With the sunspot number, if you look here, of about 140. So we have about 140 here. Obviously, the different models give a different number, so it can be anywhere between 120 to 145, let's say, for the regression tree. So there isn't a lot of time till the maximum, just a little bit over a year based on the majority of the models. I'm curious to see who was right, and based on this, we can further adjust the prediction models and get a more accurate prediction for the next cycle. What everyone agrees is that cycle 25 it will be similar in intensity with cycle 24. They're not sure if it's going to be a little bit more intense or less intense, but it's going to be in the same ballpark. It's not going to be as strong as 23, for instance. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like. You can find me on Patreon. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter. Follow me there. And thank you very much again. See you later.